everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today for our July Hub 101. Woo! We have officially had a full year of Hub 101, so thank you all so much for joining us for it. As usual, today we are doing Hub 101. Thank you, Austin Coming Together, the Austin Community Hub, and our wonderful special guest this month, Defy Ventures, for joining us. As usual, my name is Janelle Martin. I am the Hub 101, or I'm the Hub Coordinator here with Austin Coming Together. As some of you may be already familiar with us, we here at ACT are a backbone agency for collective impact, serving a network of nonprofit, faith-based, public, and private member organizations. As part of Austin Coming Together, the Austin Community Hub is a safe space to intentionally and thoughtfully engage disconnected families and individuals in collaboration with our member base to securely connect community members to holistic services such as career counseling, housing, continuing education, and awesome programs like Defy Ventures. Today, we're gonna be discussing how you can defy the odds with Defy Ventures. Their mission is to help shift the mindset to give people with criminal histories their best shot at a second chance through entrepreneurship, career readiness, and personal development training programs delivered both in prison and in the communities. And I apologize, in prison. So they are actually within the prison system and then can follow out in the communities as well. We are going to go ahead and start off with a quick presentation by Defy Ventures. They've got some really great slides for us pulled up. And then we're going to go into a Q&A portion. Please feel free to toss any questions, comments, concerns you have in the Facebook live chat. We will have one of our staff members monitoring, and then we will have the questions during our Q&A portion. You'll also get the chance to hear from some of Defy Ventures community members and participants in their programs right now. So again, so excited to introduce Defy Ventures. I'm going to go ahead and let you have the floor. I would love to introduce you to Melissa Odell, their wonderful executive director, Mr. Christopher Harrison, their wonderful manager of entrepreneurship programs, and then we'll also be joined by Carl Williams, Greg Rags, and Juan Sewell. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you, Janelle, and thank you to the whole ACT team and the Austin Workforce Collaborative, which Defy is privileged to be a part of. Hi to everybody watching on Facebook right now and to those who are going to catch it later. We are so thrilled to be able to talk with you today. Again, my name is Melissa Odell. I'm the Executive Director of Defy Ventures in Illinois. And today we're going to be talking to you a bit about our programs overall. And then Chris Harrison, our Program Manager, is really going to delve into the program that we're recruiting for right now, which is our Entrepreneurship Bootcamp, and tell you about how you can hopefully build your small enterprise with the assistance of Defy. So Defy, oh, next slide, thank you. So Defy is a national nonprofit, and we are in 7 states throughout the country. And as Janelle was mentioning, our whole focus is on providing pathways to financial independence for people who are currently and formerly incarcerated. We're really privileged here in the state of Illinois that we are operating in 3 state prisons currently, 2 that serve men, the Pontiac Correctional Center and the Kewanee Life Skills Reentry Center, as well as 1 facility that serves women, the Logan Correctional Center. So we start our work when people are inside, but we don't stop there. We also provide a bridge to really valuable services as people are coming back home into the community. Next slide. So what are we all about? What are our program pathways? What is our model? So we start our programming in a very dynamic way with a proprietary curriculum that we call CEO of Your New Life. CEO of Your New Life is a 6 to 9 month curriculum that focuses around employment readiness, personal development and well-being, reentry support, and entrepreneurship. Now, not everybody who joins our program is going to start a small business, but we're teaching an entrepreneurial mindset, a new way of thinking, and a new way of being. So during the course of this program, individuals inside prison are learning all of these very dynamic skills. And it's not just academic in nature. They also get to try these new skills out. And we do that in an experiential way. We bring in a series of volunteers from the business community to help people as they are ideating their business, as they're developing their resumes and cover letters. And at the culmination of the program, we run Shark Tank style competitions. So if you've ever wanted to pitch to, somebody like Mark Cuban, for example, again, we run these kind of competitions inside custody. We even award the top 5 folks with IOUs that they can redeem when they come out of custody and help them reacclimate to the community. And also, if they want to, continue with Defy, every single graduate who contacts us is gifted a Chromebook. We do digital upskilling. Everybody who graduates is part of our DAA, or Defy Alumni Association. And you'll notice that we also have an employment track. So as soon as people come home, they are immediately enrolled in this Alumni Association on our career and reentry track, helping to make sure that people are stabilized. We make referrals to other organizations, many of whom are part of the ACT community. So really thrilled about that. And we also just want to walk alongside people and meet them where they're at. Once people are stable and they've been able to reconnect with family and friends, we also are making sure that they have access to viable employment. So we have a lot of great employment partners who believe in fair chances. And then we do have individuals who, once they come home and they have, again, that stable reentry, have articulated that they want to start up their own small business. And so at that point, they can join our free business accelerator. And that's a lot about what we're going to talk about during this Facebook Live today. But we also have individuals who have never taken our program before in prison, but have still, experienced some interaction with the system in one way or the other and are wanting to start up a small business. So we have created a free Entrepreneurship Bootcamp. That is what Chris runs, and it's pretty awesome. And I think that Carl and Juan are going to be able to talk about it as well. So really excited that we're going to hear from them. And then following the bootcamp, individuals again can really build out their business in the free business accelerator. So you'll notice whether you're a graduate of CEO of Your New Life or a graduate of the bootcamp, you can meet up in our business accelerator, start seeing your business grow, thrive, and really start making revenue. And then ultimately, we have an alumni association specifically for folks who complete all of that. And we call it the DEN, or the Defy Entrepreneur Network. And that gives people access to a whole host of additional services and resources. So hopefully what we want to impress upon you with this is that there's really no wrong way to enter Defy. And once you're part of the Defy family and part of the Defy community, we hope that you will take advantage of all the things that we have to offer forever. There's really no endpoint. There's always ways to be part of this community and continue to gain support. Next slide. So where do we operate these programs at? So as I mentioned, CEO of Your New Life, we operate in prisons. Right now we're in state prisons. We also can offer this program in some transitional or like residential facilities. The Alumni Association, that's what happens in the community. So that's really thinking a lot about reentry stability and making sure that people have access to meaningful employment. And also our business accelerator, all of our entrepreneurship programs around the accelerator and the boot camp, that's what's also taking place in the community. And many of these services are all virtual. We know that people are super busy and have many different things going on. So what we have tried to do is reduce any barriers that you would have to being able to participate. Next slide. All right, at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Chris so he can tell you a little bit more from his vantage point as our facilitator, how the program works and how you can get involved. Thanks so much.
All right, Melissa. So pretty much as you see, Melissa spoke about, the different ways to get involved. Right now, we're looking at boot camp, which is 100% free, right? So we got to put that out there. We ask that you invest no money, right? If you're accepted into the program, all that we ask is that you invest your time. The time is the biggest commodity that you can offer. So this is what boot camp look like. It's a 16-week program. Usually it's twice a week, usually Tuesdays and Thursdays via Zoom. and we operate between the hours of 5:30 to 7:30, which we find to be a perfect time slot for your day to be somewhere wrapping up if you have a job or childcare or just, you're winding down for the day. In our boot camp, we talk about things that you see on the screen: opportunity recognition, marketing, mission, vision, and values, marketing research, competitive advantage, consumer profiling, right? And targeting. These are things that we go over in our classes to help our entrepreneurs get a better mindset first about what it means to be an entrepreneur, right? As we're building out our entrepreneurs to start their businesses, and some of them have their businesses started already, we start with a business mindset, right? And then we move through the course and we have empowering your beliefs, business ideation questionnaires, customer discovery, SMART goals. And if you've ever took any type of business classes, formal or informal, then some of these things may look familiar to you. And if you haven't, that's okay, right? We meet you where you're at in this space, and you can learn all these great tools, right? That's what we do. We're all about building. Next slide. So if you're asking yourself, look, I'm entrepreneurial minded, right? Especially if you're in Illinois. Illinois is actually an entrepreneurial state. It is, right? The government, IRS, everybody knows that everybody has a second job, a second hustle. It is what it is. It's a good thing. If you're asking yourself, how can you get involved? These are the criteria. This is the beginning. So boot camp admission criteria is, first, you should be 18 years or older, right? With some type of criminal justice involvement. And when I say criminal justice involvement, that doesn't mean that you would have to have been fully incarcerated in the Department of Corrections, but that you've had some contact with law enforcement, that you may have seen a courtroom, you may have seen a jail cell, right? You might not even been processed all the way, but we need you to have some type of contact with law enforcement, because the population that we serve, when you start an entrepreneurship, having justice involved contact can disenfranchise you. It can shut you out of some barriers, or you just don't know how to navigate those barriers due to your criminal background in any degree. Next, reentry, stability. So we talk about that when we say we like for you to be stable in housing or employment. What that looks like is that you're not house hopping, right? That you're stable. Either you have your own apartment or house, or that you're supported by family and friends. Also employment. If you don't have a stable job, which, the market can be tough, that we ask that you do have some means legally to support yourself, or that you have family and friends support, right? The reason why we ask those two things is because if you don't have basic needs met so far as housing and some type of income to take care of yourself, how can we expect you to sit down in our 16-week boot camp and focus? Your basic needs has to be met. And once you are accepted to the program, if you let us know like, hey, I'm having some complications with those barriers, then that's something that we also try to help with. That's not a full scope of our wheelhouse, but we do have partners that can assist you in housing, employment, medical needs, just all wraparound services. We also ask that you have access to technology, right? Because we're on Zoom. We were doing Zoom before COVID, right? So that's one of the ways that we can service the whole state of Illinois. The whole state of Illinois. So if you're downstate and you're watching this, or you know someone who is, or they're in Rockford, Decatur, Aurora, please reach out to us if you feel like this is something that you want to get involved with. So you would need access to a computer or a laptop, electronic device. And then most importantly, you got to want to start up a business, right? And a good business. You would want to start up something that does not cost you a lot in revenue to get up and running. Next slide. The Entrepreneurship Bootcamp is taught, like I said, via textbooks that we do supply you. So in our boot camp, when we start, even though we're on Zoom, we'll have the material shipped directly to your household. Don't have to go anywhere. We'll make sure you get it. And also the rest of our courses taught via Zoom, by Google Classroom, and other applications that we use. The participants.
And Carl was showing a visual. So if our viewers can see, this is one of our textbooks. So very high quality content shipped right to your home, free of charge.
And let me duly note to that too, right? Because that was spontaneous. We did not prompt that. We did not ask Carl to have his book ready. It just so happened that he has it ready. So that means he's still reading it, right? And he is one of our graduates. So thank you, Carl, for that visual. So we moved through the course book, And all the things that I spoke about earlier, along with more things, are the things that we'll be covering. We have deliverables set up, we have checks and balances set up, and we also have support set up. So it's a very structured program. You don't have to worry about not knowing where you're at, what you're doing, or if you're going to be left alone with no support, right? That's what we're here for. Next slide. So right here, we talk about bootcamp coaching and support, right? Participants are invited to community events and business coaching days, right? Where they can receive feedback on their business ideas from executives who volunteer with Defy. So what that really looks like is that during the program, we also arm our EITs, entrepreneurs in training. We arm them with the know-how to sit in front of a panel and pitch their business, right? Like a Shark Tank. If you ever seen Shark Tank, then you know that can be a daunting thing, right? To sit in front of someone and explain your business successfully with the hopes that they would understand it and then give you some funding and support, or maybe just some leadership, right? And some tips. So we have those business coaching days where we invite our volunteers and sometimes mentors as well. So our EITs can get that experience so they can pitch their business ideation and then get positive and constructive feedback. Next slide. So here we talk about EIT's business must, right? Got to know the details. So first, you have to have the potential to become cash flow positive within 3 months of launch, right? That don't sound too bad. I hope not, right? I hope that seems like a reachable goal. Next is you require no more than 20,000 of startup funding. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Has a potential to grow into a full-time business with sufficient income to sustain the EIT. That's what entrepreneurship is about. Not starting a business and then you're working the business, but you're not being able to provide for your basic needs and bills. We want you to get to the part where you can take care of all your needs with your own business. Be built on experience and skills that the EIT already has, and be a for-profit enterprise. For-profit enterprise. Now,
if I can just jump in really quick.
Sure.
So the reason why we have these parameters is because we want to set you up for success. So even though sometimes you might have like really amazing, complicated businesses, like maybe you want to start an app, or, you know, you want to take on Amazon or Facebook, we'll say, let that be business number 2. The idea is for you to, you know, gain the muscle memory about how to learn about entrepreneurship and test these things out. So maybe even before Chris and I go any further, this would be a really great place also to hear from some of our EITs on why they picked the business that they did, and why they felt like this was a really good model for them to start generating monies quickly. So maybe Carl, Juan, and then Greg can give us their thoughts on that. Carl, do you have some thoughts?
Fairly quickly. The business that I first, the name of my company is Royal Man Solutions. And the business that I picked is in carpentry. I'm a 3rd generational carpentry maker. So I build custom furniture, custom cabinets, bookcases, and so forth. And I know that there's a market for those who want custom furniture and need woodwork done inside of their home or inside of their office. So that's why I chose that business, because one, like I said, I'm a 3rd generational carpenter maker, and I knew that it'd be a business that will be a business that can generate income for myself, as well as allow me to be able to hire those in terms of my business as it grows. Didn't want to take up a lot of time to add.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much. Right. So we heard that Carl had a skill set and he was able to capitalize on that and get the business up and going fairly quickly. So I see, Greg, do you want to say a little bit about your business and why you chose what you chose? Oh, are you there? Might be technical difficulties. Juan, do we have you?
Yes, absolutely. How you doing? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juan Sewell. I'm the founder and CEO of Visionary Entertainment Chicago. Also have a nonprofit, which is Sewell's Point. And what my business consists of is that I connect aspiring artists to a network where they can further their careers, because we don't have that here in the Midwest where major companies and labels are accessible. So I created accessibility and a platform for aspiring artists so that they can further their careers. And actually, we also help those that's in the community as well. So it's kind of like we do a outreach as well, as where we help them to help further their careers, because they have to have time management, financial management. So I joined Defy because I wanted to make a difference and make a change. And Defy also, no matter how many times that it takes, they help you go over and really understand your business. So a lot of people think that they may know their business, but you don't. There's still unanswered questions that you have no idea about yet. And so Defy help you target that and identify those, and then come up with solutions to help where you can further and progress in your business. Because the main thing about your business, you want, when you start a successful business, is the launch and that it's scalable. And there you go, you have a successful business. Now you're gonna have some obstacles and some pitfalls, but failure is the beginning of success. It's the birth of success, rather, excuse me. And so I stick with Defy because they continue to help you network, and they also, school is always in training. You can never stop going to school. Learning is a continuous thing. You'll never stop learning. And I would advise people to continue to educate themselves and take educational courses towards what it is that you're doing, so that you can become an expert and a master in your craft and whatever it is that you're building when it comes to business. Now, these right here is what I earned from Defy.
Could
Oh,
I just
I think,
take like a couple seconds to just piggyback off of something that Melissa and Chris said?
yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Thank you, Juan.
All right.
And hearing everything that Juan just said, those are one of the things that Defy offers in terms of creating and establishing your business, but also establishing a business and giving you a base and a foundation of something that you know that you can do and that can generate income. And then that can lead to other opportunities. So as you just heard, Juan just spoke about how his business is now a 501c3, a non-for-profit, in supporting the community and doing work in the community. I know that Greg businesses that as well, but it turned from one thing and continued to grow into other things. So that was one of the things that Melissa and Chris were speaking about as well, in terms of Defy and their business accelerated model, and then those perimeters, so forth.
That's great. And that's a wonderful thing to amplify. So a lot of people come to us and say, I want to start up a nonprofit. And so we definitely encourage you first and foremost to create a for-profit and enterprise that can actually generate monies to support an idea that can be a nonprofit. So again, our whole model and infrastructure has been tested across the country. We have been able to accelerate 150 small businesses coast to coast. So trust us, we know that we've got the secret sauce, and we hope that you will walk alongside of us. Next slide, please.
Can I chime in for a second?
All right, and then we're turning over to Chris, because we took over.
Okay.
So all right, Juan,
I'm sorry, but I want to show you this. So these certificates and that I received from Defy is well respected, and it shows the seriousness and that they're taken seriously, and people they definitely give me it's a different outlook that people look at me differently, just to show. And this feels good that I was able to achieve this, and it encouraged me to even go further, just to see that you can achieve something, because I never completed anything. And this is one of the things that I completed that made me feel good. I always start something but never finish. And this is one of the accomplishments and goals that I finished. Thank you.
Awesome.
I love that. All right, we'll turn it over to Chris to kind of get us through, because I know we got to be mindful of time, and then we were going to hear a little bit from Greg and about his business too.
Okay, thank you. Once again, that was not planned for Juan to have his actual certificates present and handy, but thank you again for visuals. They're always a blessing and encouraging when we have those. So where we at right now on the slide, live streaming, we're talking about Defy Bootcamp alumni, right? We're talking about DBA. As a member of the DBA, you immediately be provided with the benefits of being in the community, such as the bullet points that we have here, right? Access to personal and professional development, workshops, referrals to employment opportunities. Now, when we say referrals to employment opportunities, we are staying away from just sending, sorry about that. We're looking to stay away from just sending anybody to any jobs, right? Just because you need a job. We're trying to put people not only where they best fit and can have a best win, but also a career, not day laboring, but somewhere where they can go and thrive. Also referrals to other supportive services that I spoke early on about, where if you need to, your needs met with healthcare or housing placement or things of that nature, we have partnerships where we can link EITs to that. Life coaching and access to Defy's awesome in-person community building, right? So when we say alumni, we mean that, right? It's like a college setting, right? You go to college, the only thing that we're missing is someone being part of a sorority or a fraternity and stepping, right? But that may happen at some point. Don't hold me to it, but we're working towards that. So next slide, please. So we spoke briefly about the boot camp. After the boot camp, after you graduate boot camp, you have the option to continue with us with the Pre-Accelerator, right? And Pre-Accelerator is not 16 weeks, it is actually 8 weeks. And instead of meeting twice a week, you would meet once a week. And the time frames will still be the same between 5:30 and 7:30 via Zoom in the comfort of your own home or where your electronic device can be located at, right? Because sometimes people move around. So after successfully completing the boot camp, you can apply, right, to enter into the Defy's Pre-Accelerator phase. And then the Pre-Accelerator is where you will refine your business concept further with the support of myself, along with Melissa and our staff. And the reason what we're doing is we're taking all of the things that you've done in boot camp and we're sending it back through the washer and dryer. We're refining everything, right? We're making sure it's clean, it's cut, that we understand where we're going and where we need to be as facilitators and as EITs. Also, we make sure that you continue your reentry, your stability, right? That you still have some access to housing, also that you have access to some income. Hopefully by this chance or this time frame, if you haven't secured a job, most likely we can help you with that, right? That's the ideal. And any barriers that you've had, we can try to assess that and see if we can get those resources for you. Next slide. So the continuation, you want to speak something, Melissa? Okay.
Yeah, sure. So the Pre-Accelerator, again, is really focused on you delving into your MVP or your minimum viable product experiment. So we want you to test all those risky assumptions and really ensure that somebody in the community is willing to pay for your good or service, because you're not going to have a viable business if people are not going to be willing to pay for that, right? So we're going to make sure that you are at that place. You get a lot of business coaching, and I think that is the secret sauce of Defy, right? It's not just the academic component, it's experiential. It's where the rubber meets the road, right? You're going to get feedback from people in the business community. And sometimes people pay a lot of money to be in things like mastermind sessions and all different type of coaching modalities. But at Defy, again, it's all free. It's part of our model. And at the end of the Pre-Accelerator phase, if you haven't already incorporated your business, we will provide a free business incorporation to you. And that can range, I think anywhere up from $250 up to $700 in some states, right? So it's state by state is how much it costs. So what's really good about that is that we have a relationship and a partnership with LegalZoom. And so they, as a corporate partner, are able to continue to support our EITs, which is really great. Next slide, please. So after you finish the pre-accelerator, then you get to move into that business accelerator that I was showing you on that first slide. But the business accelerator, we really want to make sure that everybody knows it does require a commitment. I hope that we have been impressing upon you the whole time that with great rewards comes great responsibility. So we do need you to show up. We do need you to commit, and it is an investment of your time, but there's so much that you can gain from taking part of it. When you're in the business accelerator, you would continue those evening coaching sessions like Chris mentioned, where you would get access to higher level entrepreneurial content and more intensive business coaching sessions. And this is the place where you're actually paired with your own executive mentor. So I liken it, if you've ever seen Rocky, right? The mentor is like the Mickey to your Rocky, getting you ready for the big night in the big ring, right? Because ultimately the goal is that you will be able to pitch for funding from Defy or one of Defy's partners. And I know that Juan, Carl, and Greg can all speak to how we have connected them to opportunities where they have gotten to pitch their business. So if EITs are able to make all these sessions, you can complete this within 5 months. But we would ask that you complete everything for phase 1 within 12 months, because sometimes it takes people a little bit longer. But those people who are entrepreneurial, we usually have to help people put the brakes on, because usually you guys are ready to go from 0 to 60 in like 5 seconds. So, you know, it's really meant, again, to create structure and support so that way you're set up for success. Next slide. So here we also continue to provide you with a lot more support and really broadening out the entrepreneurial ecosystem. We have partnerships with other nonprofits like Start Small, Think Big that gives free marketing and business development services. I mentioned LegalZoom. Again, you normally as an entrepreneur have to pay money for business services and pay money for legal services. We try to provide a lot of these as in-kind support to you. You also have an opportunity to apply for a business planning grant of up to $500 from Defy. And a grant is money that you don't have to pay back. That is non-equity based, non-dilutive capital. That's the kind of money that is far and few between in the world of entrepreneurship. So you definitely want to look out for those kind of things. Again, you have access to your mentor, people who have been CEOs before, people who have been angel investors before, people who really understand how to help your business grow and scale. This is extremely valuable. And to complete the Defy, the accelerator, the first phase of it, we would be looking for you to do all of your curriculum, be meeting with your mentor for up to 15 hours of mentorship. And I'm going to parking lot this, but I would love for maybe Carl to talk a little bit about how he still is connected with his mentor, Steve, who's, I know that relationship has been really valuable. And we're working to make sure that you are achieving at least $500 of monthly revenue. But I think each of the gentlemen here today can speak about how they are earning way more than that per month, and I'm really proud of their accomplishments thus far. Next slide. So just as a recap, because I know that this is a lot of information, and for those of you who are sticking with us, we really appreciate you. We know it can be like drinking from a fire hose, but just remember that during this business accelerator, you're meeting with your mentor regularly. You're connecting for your accelerator meetings that Chris again facilitates. They are all virtual. We would be making sure that you're not missing more than 3, because if you miss more than 3, you're losing a lot of the content and the momentum in order to help your business succeed. And that is just not a good fit. So we want to really make sure that you can make the commitment, and that if you are wanting funding from Defy, you don't have to go for funding from Defy, but many entrepreneurs are looking for that kind of fiscal support, that you are doing your coursework and meeting all of the requirements. Next slide. So after you have completed this, then you get to move into, I would imagine, the super, super fun part. This is phase 2. This is when you are showing traction. You're making at least $1,000 in monthly revenue, probably more. And now you're getting ready for the Defy Investment Committee. So this is when you are developing your pitch deck, your business plan. You've really strengthened your financial model. And this is when you're getting ready to try to receive some support from Defy. Again, at this stage, you're able to access a lot of resources like LegalZoom. We've mentioned that before. You get additional mastermind coaching sessions. Again, all of these services are free. Next slide. And at the investment committee, this is when you get to actually pitch for funding of up to $10,000 from Defy. So that might be a grant from Defy. We might get you access to a low interest loan from like a CDFI. It might be a combination of any of these type of things. But the idea is that you would have this opportunity to pitch and gain money that will help your business grow and thrive, and really also introduce you to opportunities outside of Defy. And maybe some of our EITs can talk about how they've leveraged their experience at Defy to find resources that maybe Defy didn't even know about, but they are networking, they're doing that entrepreneurship, and utilizing that mindset all the time, because we're not the only game in town, but we provide a platform for you to be successful. Next slide. So I mentioned at the very beginning that once you're part of Defy, we hope that you'll be part of Defy forever. You're a part of this family, you're part of this community. And so the Defy Entrepreneur Network, or DEN, is an alumni association that specifically is for people who've gone through this whole entrepreneurial pathway, and we will have access to more networking meetings, high-level guest speakers, invitations to really cool activities with people even outside of the state of Illinois. We leverage our website and our newsletter. Our newsletter goes out to 7,000 people across the country, so you are able to get featured and have your business kind of be getting that shine no matter where you're at, which is, I think, a really beautiful thing. And then I think the other piece that I would imagine our EITs can speak to, it's very important to also have the opportunity to pay it forward. So to mentor other individuals and share the knowledge and share those resources. Next slide. So this is actually the sweet spot. This is where Chris and I can turn it over to our EITs again to talk a little bit more about their experience. But just briefly, we have some success stories. We have Cas Marte, who started a fitness training program, and Seth Sundberg that started a granola bar company. So I'll turn it over to Carl, Juan, and Greg to talk about their successes with the program.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got you clear.
Okay, cool. So my name is Gregory Rags, and I graduated from EIT. And I want to thank you, Melissa. You're super awesome, right? I initially came in with the idea to do a non-for-profit, Gamma Ray Incorporated. I've been doing mentorship programs for 19 years, but upon coming to Defy, it was constructive criticism that kind of pushed me to somewhere else. I wound up doing landscaping, and GNL was birthed from actually Defy. It's something that my family has done for many, many moons. It's something that's second nature to me, and it's something that actually was able to draw me really quick funds. Like, the turnaround with getting funded, get that funded was right away. So moving on from there, I always kept that. And Melissa also said, Greg, you don't have to move away from Gamma Ray, but in order to make money initially, this is probably the best way. And I love that it wasn't someone, because I've talked to several people over the years, and when you have these dreams and these ambitions, and then it's the way you talk to people. So that's one of the things that I loved about Defy, that the criticism that you receive is welcoming, and they give it from a place of, I want to see you succeed, right? And currently right now, I'll move you guys up quite a bit. Currently right now, we teach the landscaping. We teach the landscaping to other individuals, younger individuals, older individuals, those that want to know. We rent out all of the tools they need, so and everybody's doing really, really great. We do have 4 people that go out to the sites if they need be to assist them. And we currently now have HRC, which is Harrison Resource Center. So, and Harrison Resource Center will be the birthplace of a lot of dreams. We'll have a small business incubator up in there. The city has now given us like this huge grant. So it's like a lot of things have came that structure and the support that I received from Defy was second to none. I had some tools, but I don't think I would be as successful. I know I wouldn't be as successful if I didn't get an invitation from a friend I didn't talk to in 10 years saying, hey man, it's this program for people been incarcerated. You should call them. And I don't even think he went, but it was for me. I really think that God gave it for me. And so I just want to thank Defy, Melissa, and everybody a part of it, and my fellow graduates. They're my homies. Yeah, get to stepping out before I get 50 and 60. Y'all put that out there. So yeah, that's my story. Thank you all.
And I must say, Greg, man, what a beautiful story. And I wish you much continued success, brother. You're doing a great job. So keep
Thank you.
moving forward with it, brother.
Thank
So
you.
as I said, my business is Royal Man Solutions, where we build custom furniture. And I too have been making a transition in terms of turning my business into a non-for-profit as well, because I work with young youth in the community and teaching them a trade and a skill. But why I joined Defy was because I wanted more opportunity in terms of what in helping my business be able to grow and develop and to reap some benefits in terms of my business, because I had a vision of going back into the community, teaching this very same curriculum to those in the community who are youth and who have business ideas, to be able to allow them to have an opportunity as well. So I stuck around because of just the family at Defy. I think that was the one thing that I noticed that was important to me, that connected to me, whereas it's not that they didn't want me to move forward in terms of my business idea. They wanted me to be able to perfect it, focus, narrow it down, focus on this, and then be able to grow and scale out from there, if you will. And I think that, just as Greg talked about, that positive, constructive criticism was something that continued to elevate me, but also allow me to now be able to take my business and my ideas, because of what I was offered from Defy, to be able to share that vision in a broader way. So now my business is now moving toward being able to build things inside of schools, inside of prison, building bookcases and different things inside of prison. So I'd never looked at that aspect of it, but because of giving me that idea and that vision to say, hey, network outside of this, go beyond this measure, take this measure. This is what the program offers, because I didn't know a lot about many of the things that I was going into in terms of business, but taking that time to be able to have that offered to me through Defy, it allowed me to be able to generate more business, network more properly, also have a quick 2-minute elevator pitch that allowed me to get other businesses just from being in the elevator or being next to somebody and only having 1 minute to shake their hand and say what my business is, and only with the other hand pulling out the card, putting it in their hand. So that's what the Defy has offered me in terms of being helpful. And now I'm able to be able to go back into the community, where I take kids, teach them carpentry, take them to my shop. They've built 9 bookcases. I sold them all and gave them all a profit. So this was their first opportunity in being able to have a business opportunity and transaction, and learn some of the curriculum that I've learned at Defy. So not only that, they put you in tune with a wealth of people, and who gives you a wealth of information, and who works with you on a consistent basis. Like, I've had mentor after mentor, and some of the people who I've met early on in the boot camp, I still communicate with, who have bought things from me, who have came out to supported me. And that's one of the things that I love about Defy as well. And I'll give a big shout out to Steve, who has been a day in, day out, picking up the phone whenever I got questions. Melissa as well, and Chris, who does a fantastic job, who not only has become a person who's a brother in Defy, but also a friend as well. And because of the program, I've also met great friends like Juan and others who are part of Defy, and we've been all networking. So Juan, I'll turn it over to you because I could go on and on and on. This would be a whole Defy. I don't want, I hope you got your tissues ready because I will have you.
Yeah, hold on. Before Juan kicks in, because he can go too. And we love that. So what Greg was speaking upon was the fact that when we talk about being alumni and building this awesome community, right? Not only for your profit businesses, but also after you be successful with your profit business, that you circle the block and you can get your first love, which is non-for-profit started, right? And what we're talking about is that we are keeping that community alive by making sure that graduating EITs know who new EITs are, right? So we can have those spaces where we can talk, we can share business ideas, we can cross-pollinate business and contacts. And then we also have planned where we do, just simple things like wellness days. Like we have things planned where we're gonna invite people out, our EITs, where we can go do great things in the community and continue to do that. So that's the way that we build. Of course, we do the classwork, right? We do the classwork, we focus on business, but it's also a fun environment, right? There's no one in there crying because they don't understand anything, right? Like everybody's raising their hand. We have light humor in the classroom, and we just continue to build as a community. And we're looking for more entrepreneurs to come through to Defy and say, hey, look, I want some of what these guys and young women have gotten, right? Because we also have ladies in our cohorts too. Their work schedule is a little different. That's why they couldn't join. One of my students now is over there helping another EIT student a few steps away do some coursework. So I just want to intervene on that.
Yeah, and that's actually, I know we're coming up on time, and don't worry, Juan, you'll have the last word, but I do want to plug that we have admissions open right now. So if you are watching this live and you are like hyped up and you are ready to join this program, you absolutely can. We are going to put, I think, the link in the show notes or something to that effect, and we'll share out our flyer. All you need to do, again, to apply is be 18 and over, have that business idea, be justice impacted. You will be able to apply. You will speak directly to Chris. You will hear from him. And we will get you up and going because we are starting this boot camp class on August 2nd. So don't sleep on this opportunity. Tell everybody you know, please. We are trying to get the word out. We have 25 slots available. I think we're halfway filled up. So it's kind of like, use it or lose it. No, in all seriousness, we do have these boot camps 2 times a year, but this will be the last one for 2022. So please definitely apply. For any of you who work in nonprofits and see that there is an opportunity for partnership, we also want to put that out there to you. Feel free to contact Chris, myself. We love partnership. We might even be able to work out in the future to even run our program at your site or something to that effect. So if you see opportunities to collaborate, please reach out. We appreciate that. All right, Juan, I promised that you would have the last word. So before we got to close out, take us home.
Okay, so again, shout out to Greg and Carl. Know he's in the class together, and actually, Greg, he won business pitch for the 20 grand. He did great. So I refer back to his model, to his pitch. So I was able to correct myself and do some things to make myself better. But that's what Defy is all about, is helping you elevate, and they supply you with the knowledge and the tools and the support. Support is so important. And what they need from you is commitment. The commitment from you is everything. Being committed to saying, hey, I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna let nothing stop me. Even if something discourages you where you don't understand, Defy will break it down and simply help you understand because they're hands-on. And I'm a hands-on kind of guy, so that had helped me as well. Defy is about defying the odds. And they about giving opportunity to those that really want it and those that want to make a change. So Defy also allows you to understand and identify that you have alternatives and you have the choice to be what you want to be. And if you don't have the link, we're going to make sure you have the link. We need you to join in and do this now because it's all about you. Join now. Defy. Defy is what's happening. I'm telling you. You're going to see yourself on a billboard somewhere.
I'm telling you, it's realistic. So be motivated and definitely be inspired. That's for sure.
Beautiful. I think that might be the mic drop moment. So
Yeah.
Janelle, take us to the ending.
So really the next portion is like questions, comments. I did want to toss up really quickly one final slide from Defy Ventures, just so you have Chris's contact information if you would like or need. Please feel free to reach out to Chris here at C. Harrison at Defy Ventures. If y'all are interested in this, you can also just Google Defy Ventures and find their website. I believe you have a sign up link on there as well. If anybody's interested, and I'll reiterate this as well, but you can always reach out to us here at Austin Coming Together, and I'm more than happy to get you connected over with them or any other resources. But we do have some time for questions and answers if anybody has some, so please feel free to toss those in the chat right now. I do have a couple questions, and Carl, Juan, Greg, y'all have been phenomenal through this entire thing. And you've kind of already answered this one already, but this question is kind of a three-parter. So the first one is, what is your favorite thing about Defy Ventures? What was something that was really hard for you? And then what is a piece of advice you would give somebody about the hard thing and how to maybe address it differently next time? And y'all are welcome to start off, whoever's ready.
Well, for me, can you hear me? Okay. One of the things for me was trusting the process. Coming up, it was always me making sure it happens, me taking care of the younger folks in the family, things like that. So trusting the criticism was important for me. And so I'll answer that piece. It was definitely trusting that Defy had it together. Because there's plenty of programs out here, but I've yet to meet one like Defy. I've yet to meet one like Defy. So for me, it was absolutely the trust in the process. Want to take one of them down?
Hey, so for me, Defy showed me how to identify things that such as SMART goals. Which is coming up specifically measured, you're gonna have specifically measured and approachable and time. So everything has to have a deadline, and those one of the key goals. Even if you don't meet it, you set a deadline, and when you set a deadline, your next move is to execute. And so with that being said, you have to set a timeline for yourself. So say, hey, I'm going to apply for Defy at this time. And then during that time, it's an 8-week program. So then you're moving through the steps and you're coordinating and setting your life in divine order. So therefore, you can move through this journey divinely. On you, Carl. Take them down.
I think that mine was just more so patience in terms of the process. For me, being a person who had first started this business, I started to get a little information, and I'm like, hey, I'm ready to go. Put me in the accelerator right now. Let's make this move. So I think that I had to have patience in terms of the process, because what it did was allow me the opportunity to gain more information and to be that much more ready and prepared, fit, capable, and able to be able to execute, like you just said, Juan, and to move forward with my business so my business can be a productive business and can be a business that when you look down the line 2, 3, 4 years from now, it can be well established in terms of revenue, as well as hiring, as well as being able to be active in the communities as well. So I think for me, it was very patient, because I was just like, well, they gave me all this information. Now I'm ready to rock. But that may be true, but there's so much more to it in terms of what I had to perfect was like a mission statement about your business. And for me, I was like, well, I know what to say about my business, but to be able to properly execute that and communicate that effectively was very key. And like I said, and connecting it back to that elevator pitch as well, which made a lot of difference because that was one of the things they used to hammer home, like, okay, well, what is your business? What about your business? What does your business do? What is your customer base? What is the market base? How does it? And when you think about all of those things, you're like, oh, well, maybe I ain't ready. So it had to be, for me, just more patience.
Thank you. Thank you, all three of you. That was awesome. One of the other questions that we have, this would be a little bit more directed to you or Melissa or Chris. The participant is asking, to what level of justice involvement do you have to be in order to participate in these programs?
Sure, that's an awesome question. So we will say that we will serve anybody regardless of background, if as long as they've had some impact that has led to like a collateral consequence. So I think Chris was alluding to this before, right? So sometimes people are arrested and detained for like 30 days. They might lose their job and not be able to, you know, go for that that loan at the bank at a traditional lending institution. And ultimately they're not even convicted of the thing that they were arrested for. And we know that this is happening in our communities. And the reality is that Defy exists not just about small business generation, but actually to interrupt recidivism, making sure that people are not going back to jail and prison, but really getting to the root of, I think, what we all know are racist and unjust policies and things that hamper people from being successful. So we are not just here to say, okay, who's going to be the next Jeff Bezos? I mean, that would be amazing. But really what we're trying to do is give people who have not been given access a platform and an opportunity. So we are not looking for people who've necessarily spent extensive time behind the wall, although a lot of people in our program have. They've been in state prison or federal prison or the county jail. Some people, as I mentioned, have been arrested, detained, not ultimately convicted. Some people are even on current supervision. We have worked with federal probation officers, for example, who have referred people. So what's really important, and I hope that the viewers are hearing, is that Defy doesn't care what was ever in the background. It's who you are today and what you want to do. We are all about knowing the person. And we want to amplify that person and see you be successful with your skills, your talents. And what is really amazing is that we have built a community of like-minded individuals who are in positions to be hiring managers, who are investors, who are in this ecosystem that actually want to see you succeed too. I think that that is what I would say, is that if you feel like you have been impacted in any way, at least give us a call. Let us have a one-on-one conversation with you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And then the last one I have, so if anybody's got any more questions, we do still have some more time. So please feel free to toss those in. The last question that I have as of right now is, are there any regulations or stipulations in terms of like what business you are looking to propose, or, you know, what it has to be based off of? Does it have to be construction? Does it have to be food? What does that look like?
Yeah, that's another really great question. So we are agnostic about what the business is, as long as it fits into the parameters that we talked about on that main slide. So as you've heard, a lot of the businesses are, well, they can either be service-based businesses like Wands, for example, like connecting talent to management services, or they can be product-based businesses. We heard like Carl is doing like custom-made cabinetry and bookshelves, right? But Greg also innovated in that his business was kind of both, right? He was doing landscaping and then was teaching other people how to landscape. So now you have, think about, you know, what you can do with the things that are already within you, right? If you need to get a complicated trademark or a patent or something, again, maybe that's business number 2. But what can you do, again, with what you already have? So a lot of people in our program are looking into, again, businesses or sectors where there's a lot of potential, right? We say you don't have to reinvent the wheel, but how will your customers be delighted? A lot of people do culinary, fitness training, demolition and hauling, janitorial. Again, there are a lot of those kind of businesses in the world, and particularly here in Chicagoland, but that doesn't mean that we can't have another really awesome cupcake truck, right? I mean, I know I would like that. Or, you know, again, we are looking to see how can we build on what your passion is and really bring that to the market.
All right. So anybody, any business idea at all out there, toss them this way. I'm down for another cupcake truck. I'm always down for sweets, so please bring them this way.
Especially chocolate ones.
Exactly, especially the chocolate ones. Okay, that is all the questions that I have. I don't have any other, but I do want to open it back up to Melissa, Chris, Juan, Carl, Greg. If any of you have any last minute things you want to say that you want to let community members know about Defy, about your experience, the floor is yours. I'll do one more.
The last thing I wanted, I don't know if we totally touched on it a lot. I was wondering if our folks can talk a little bit about your experience with the Tech Rise competition and getting access to be able to actually pitch for funding for your business, and what was gaining those funds, what did it let you do within your business? How did it help you level up to the next phase?
So, so if you guys wouldn't mind, I'll go first. So first and foremost, I would be remiss if I didn't thank Gracie. Gracie was great. Gracie was absolutely great. And rolling into Tech Rise was really good. Tech Rise was really good. I actually did win the Tech Rise pitch event, which is awesome. But before I won the event, what the pitch actually made me do was dig deeper. I had to dig deeper, right? And when I thought I had it, I said, no, I got to critique that just a little bit more, right? And I'm continuing to do so. So that's what Tech Rise and that pitch did for me. So the structure and the foundation that Defy laid out, right, with my passion, it brewed that pitch. And that's why, and I won the pitch. And I was able, with that 10 grand, to buy, it was 20 grand. It was actually, I think the first time they did it, it was 3 of us that got it. It was, all 3 of us got some money. So it was really nice because it was right around Christmas, I want to say, right? So it was really nice. And with that, I got some, I got some lawnmowers. I just got a bunch of tools in an F-150 truck. So what happened was, when I was talking to the guy that was selling the truck, and I actually brought up Defy, he wasn't aware of it, but I started talking about Defy and the things that you do. So the truck was 8 grand. He gave me, but I only won 10, and I had to get all of the tools. So he said, why don't you do this? If you help my son, I'll give you this truck for $4,000. Yeah. His son is good. So we worked together. I gave him pretty much, and I actually copied the book that you all have. I actually, because it's just some things, it's some words they have to get for themselves, right? Some things is it's interpretation. So I gave him all of what you gave me, right? Regurgitated it all, right? And and he's doing really well. Like I never knew that the landscaping business was so good, Melissa. Like, it's been really good for me and my family. And it's been good for the other 6 individuals as well, because I'd never count him into the 4 that I'm helping in the city, because the other 2 are in the suburbs. And but it's been really good. And I asked about the ACT representative's name, because I know ACT is I just bought that building on 4,500, and they're at 5,000, right? So we're really, really close. But it gave me the ability to purchase that property, to go in and spend money on that property, and going in with Tech Rise and leveraging that, right? Leveraging that you won a pitch, leveraging you won something, leveraging Defy. You're a graduate of Defy, right? The word graduate means something. Use it, leverage it, grow from it. And absolutely, I love what Chris said. We absolutely have to keep the alumni together and continue building that bond. But that's what Tech Rise and Defy done for me and my family. Thank you.
For sure.
I still communicate with those at Tech Rise. Lucy, who I hear from a lot, who I communicate with a lot, who she passed on different opportunities to me as well. And as Greg said, he definitely won the pitch for sure. But I was a recipient, myself and Juan, of $5,000, which allowed me to buy equipment as well for my business. And I'm a person who just takes the time to buy particular things in terms of my business to be able to help me grow. So I've stretched that $5,000 to buy multiple things and taking the time to find the best deals and the best equipment that is suitable to be able to help and continue to grow my business. But those pieces of equipment are sustainable. And so I've scratched that $5,000, and it has been an important part of my capital in growing my business. So and just listening to some of the things that Greg said, um, just being able to be a part of Defy, connecting to Tech Rise, it's been a beautiful experience because just you can't get these teachings directly from someone without usually they want you to pay for them. Here it is at Defy, they're offering to me for free. And that's why I said I had to learn in terms of that patience and taking that time to be able to receive that, because I was like, hey, I'm all ready to go. But because of that information, that wealth of information, and because of that continuously bond and them willing to work with you throughout, even when your business has become a scalable business and a more developed business, they still pick up the phone for you if you have questions. They still refer you to resources when you need them. So that has been huge for me. So every time I get an opportunity now, I make it my business to share my story in terms of being a person who's an alumni at Defy, and say it proudly and wear it proudly, because I understand the transition that it helped me make in my life from then to now and then today, and how I'm continuing to grow and being able to expand and continuing to build and create from those ideas and that information.
Nice.
Juan, go ahead, Juan.
Hey,
Last words.
how do I go behind you and Greg like that? I can't. How do I go behind you guys like that? No, but,
Like you always do around this time.
hey,
You
but,
got it.
yeah, with the $5,000 that I was a recipient of the $5,000 as well. With the $5,000, I was able to establish other business connections with other companies as well, because what I do is that I use the funds to get rent venues, and then I have create that platform there, right? A safe space and a platform for aspiring artists to be heard, and that they can get signed to a label and further their careers, and connect them with a network, because no network, no net worth. That's my motto. So with that $5,000, I was able to start that, and it's been going well ever since then. So we have a show coming up September 4th in Las Vegas at a venue there. Also, we're doing in August here, we're doing a peace awareness concert, because that's Peace Awareness Month, because we're using music and to minimize violence. And so with that peace concert, the mayor, she will be there. One of our clients that we also manage is Royce Bell from Wild 'N Out as well. That was after I got to receive the $5,000. That was one of the first clients we signed, a celebrity artist that we signed on to manage and do his tour. But other than that, Defy has really helped engaging and created me to be create that strong foundation for me. And with that strong foundation, I was able to go out here and grab the world by its horns. And Melissa and all the rest of the instructors, they are very embracing. They embrace you. They're very easy to talk to. They actually they walk you through things to help you better understand what's going on and what it is that you need to do to be successful. And like we said, during a lot of the times we have light sense of humor, and it's a beautiful and safe environment. So with that being said, apply now for Defy. It's a great to change your life. Thank Thank you.
All right, thanks, Juan. So what,
So,
if you notice, which Greg, Carl, and Juan spoke about the good things that they've done with the money, right? Not only were they being good leaders and stewards of the money, but it ties back to the beginning of the course when we talk about we deal with entrepreneur mindset, right? So by the time you move through the program, you understand checks and balances and leadership and stewardship and community and funding and how to best use that money. So whether you win the money through Defy or you learn how to go get money on your own, right? You don't just run through the money, right? You make sure that it's going directly to your business so you can scale up, so you can scale out, so you can buy your equipment, you can buy the things that you need, you can make the connections, and also like, like Carl, hire staff members, right? So that's just one of the things just to tie it in that, they didn't just get the money. It's like, yes, I won. Let me go out here and just spend it. It's like, no, thank you for this. And let me make it count. So I appreciate you guys sharing that.
can I say one more thing?
Of course.
You know what, with Lucy at Tech Rise, they were actually having a women's pitch. So there was a lady by the name of Lisette Herton who came in, and we talked. Well, Lisa did the pitch and was a recipient of $25,000. She won that pitch from Tech Rise. So so you guys, and I say that to say this: if you run across some people who join forces with you and collaborate with you, collaboration pieces are awesome. Definitely give them that Tech Rise information because there's so much opportunity that's there. So yeah, she absolutely gave it. And then she actually blessed the organization with $2,500 as a thank you. So yeah, the collaboration piece is great. But yeah, Lisette Herton, organization called Drip.
That is awesome. Thank you. Everything all of you have been talking about is such an incredible opportunity, such amazing experiences and perspectives. And I love Defy Ventures. Y'all are incredible. The work you do is amazing. The participants who we were joined by, Carl, Greg, Juan, y'all are amazing. You're fantastic. I'm so grateful that you were able to join us today. That is all we have time for today. I am so sorry. But if you're interested in connecting with Melissa or Chris from Defy Ventures or any of these wonderful gentlemen from Defy Ventures, please feel free to reach out to myself, Janelle Martin, here at Austin Coming Together. I'm happy to connect you with whoever or any resources. We do have another Hub 101 coming again in August. I will have more information for you all soon on that, so keep your eye out. But other than that, I just, again, want to do one quick thank you so much to everyone today. And that's all we've got time for. So thank you, everyone. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, fellas. Thanks, Melissa. Defy, thank you.
Thank you.